you or any of your family ever seen a spook, specter, or ghost?
If the answer is yes, then don't wait another minute. Pick up your phone and call the professionals. Ghostbusters. Our courteous and efficient staff is on call 24 hours a day to serve all your supernatural elimination needs.
We're ready to believe you.
What's up, Aaron?
Not much. We're talking hot mess about one of my most beloved childhood franchises. One that's getting a bad rap. One that's maybe being dragged through the mud a little bit. I don't know. Because there's a new Ghostbusters movie coming out. It's hard for someone like me not to go back. Because I was a part of the whole craze.
Right.
When it started day one, I was maybe not old enough to understand the movie. As I got older, the layers started peeling away for it. And I understood more and more of the film. But right off the bat, toys, t-shirts, action figures.
You had it all.
I had it all, and it was all a ghost, just scared behind a cross, no ghost sign. That logo was my childhood for
a few years.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years, I'd say.
Half of your life right there, or more.
Oh yeah, and you look at all the little journals and scribble notebooks we had in school. That logo was all over the place.
Yeah, it was actually.
I got pretty good at drawing it. But no, so we're preempting the new Ghostbusters film by looking at the old one and seeing if there's anything that people hold it on such a pedestal.
Is it so sacred?
Is it so sacred that nobody can ever touch this again unless all these old guys come back to play?
And good luck with that.
Yeah, they can't seem to get along.
Well, one of them's dead.
Well, one of them couldn't get along so bad he left this planet. And now a new generation of people is stepping in to take up the proton packs. But looking back, boy, this was a lot heavier movie than I remember. Like when I was a kid, sure it was there's ghosts and there's laser proton beams firing all over the place, cool traps. One of the most iconic and, in my mind, favorite cars in movies, the Ecto-1.
Yeah.
That's all I needed. But as you get older, I had my older brother here to kind of coach me through some of the deeper aspects, and a lot of what fuels us today, our thoughts and interests. The supernatural, talk of interdimensional travel, science fiction, everything. This movie dips its toes in a lot of different ponds. And I think it does a really good job at getting across the point that you can still have fun with subject matter like this. But I don't know. I think there's some weaknesses in the original.
Okay, I'd like to hear this.
Okay,
You got my interest.
When we just finished watching it earlier tonight. I don't really like Peter Venkman as a part of the Ghostbusters.
Come on.
I don't get his arc. I don't understand. You were defending him and you were making good points, but it seems like he's just new to the group.
Not true.
Like when they're down in the basement, the bookcase falls over. He seems to not understand what happened to Ray. Like, did this ever happen to you before? Well, if it did, he would have said. What does he add? What does he add to the team?
Oh, okay, well, here's the thing about Pete Venkman. And I'm going to make the same points I made while we were watching. Being part of this team before you're a Ghostbuster, it's a pretty sweet gig. You don't do a whole lot of work. The work you do is never going to be really taken seriously. And, when you ask him, oh, did you ever, anything like this ever happen to you before? It just goes to show you he's not really been in the field with these guys running around, measuring things with stethoscopes and stuff like that.
Or squeezing the air.
Squeezing the little thing there. To him, it is kind of a joke. But it's a paying joke.
No, it's a paying joke. I mean, they worked for a university. If anybody hasn't seen the Ghostbusters, we're not going to run down the plot because if it's one of those movies, we really don't need to talk about it. We're just gonna look at some things and talk about some things. Venkman, I guess maybe it's as time goes by, I really am not a fan of Bill Murray as much as a lot of people are.
Okay.
and it's starting to taint a lot of his earlier performances. And you know, he's funny. He's got some of the best lines, and obviously he is a funny guy. Is he right for this picture? I don't know, because I think you can eliminate him, and it's still a very fun movie.
I think you could eliminate Winston Zeddemore
Oh yeah,
and still have the same result, but you need that core.
yeah. You need the core. The number 4 is very useful in terms of splitting up teams and whatnot. I didn't much. Wow, I didn't think this was going to become a Bill Murray bash fest.
Go ahead, bash away. I wanna hear this.
He seems like he doesn't. As time went by, he was always the dissenting member about making another sequel, Ghostbusters 3.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because he couldn't get along with a lot of people, and he's very tough to work with. I get the impression immediately in this movie that he's soured a lot of scenes. And there's some scenes that just flat out don't make any sense to me.
Okay, alright. Name a couple if you can.
Well, there was the first time where Peter goes back to Dana Barrett's apartment to investigate after she comes to the Ghostbusters saying she saw an otherworldly dimension in her fridge, and you know she had to leave the apartment. So he comes back, and sure, he looks around the apartment, but then it breaks down into this very awkward exchange between them where he shifts into like the fourth dimension. He breaks the fourth wall on himself while in a movie, and it almost looks like Sigourney Weaver doesn't know what the hell to do. And it just makes no sense. It's you know, he wants to be the charming guy, which he is. I just don't think you know, in terms of every cast member needs to be back for there to be a sequel.
Okay, mind you, at this point, nothing has really happened that indicates that there's any ghostly activity. Actually, what am I talking about? They saw that ghost in the library.
Yeah,
You're
it was right there.
You're right. He should take this a little more seriously.
Yeah, you just dealt with this yesterday.
Okay, you know, okay, that's a valid point.
And yeah, he's just, oh, I'm just gonna goof around, you know, Slimer little asshole.
What?
No, not like
Slimer little asshole?
no, Slimer's a little asshole.
Okay. All right.
No, there's just this sense that he just doesn't give a crap, and I don't think that character fits in a movie like this, especially when stuff goes south. It goes real south in this movie.
Right.
You know, he's mugging for the crowd, and meanwhile you get Ray and Egon sweating like slaves. You know, just they're worried about going into this fight, or, you know, encountering something else, and there's Bill Murray just wandering around the set wearing the same costume. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Okay, you just wanted to buy into his character a little more.
Yeah, I
Right.
think he's the weakest member out of all of them, because Dan Aykroyd, obvious vested interest.
Uh-huh.
He's a necessary guy. He's the believer, and Harold Ramis is the skeptic, but he's a scientific skeptic.
Mm-hmm.
So you need him to work the tech magic, and those two are the only necessary parts. I'd say somebody to do the work and somebody to do the believing. That's what you need for ghosts. That's what modern ghost hunters are. Is a blend of belief and you know, EVP and you know, electromagnetic field detectors and stuff like that. We don't need no Bill Murray. So I'm surprised this sequel didn't go ahead sooner. If it weren't just
Without
for
him?
if it was just nostalgia for Bill Murray, I could leave it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why this new movie, a lot of people are like, well, everyone's coming back and they're having cameos. It's like, I don't even want that. If this is going to be Ghostbusters, let's just have some fun on screen. Let's go on some adventures and you know, see some funny stuff going on with some interesting new ghosts and a new villain, hopefully.
Right.
Like, if it's Gozer again, I just don't know what's... I don't know how to handle that. But the new movie, that's kind of why we're talking about this.
Right, you know.
There's a whole host of reasons why people are disliking this.
Well, it's because it's all girls. This was a boys' club.
It was a boys' club, but You know, in my experience as somebody that's had interests and contacts with people in the supernatural, I'd say the gender split is a lot closer to even than you'd think.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton more people on the female side that are interested in the paranormal than most people would expect.
Mm-hmm.
So why wouldn't it kind of make sense that friends that are in the same field would get together and work together?
Mm-hmm.
It just seems to make a lot of sense to me. You don't bring along a token guy on the team or a token girl on the team just because it fits, because it works better for a movie script. If you want to tell a story about friends, it doesn't matter who they are, they're friends.
Mm-hmm.
If they're employees like, Winston Zeddemore, do whatever you want with them. But the group, they should work together well and actually seem like they're friends. I just never thought that people would ever hate on a movie for a bunch of people getting along in a workplace situation kind of thing.
Well, that's the weird thing about this new movie coming out is it's not a reboot. Because, what is it in the trailer? They said 30 years ago, this and this happened in New York City, right?
Yeah, that's where everyone's like, oh, it's a reboot. Well, I don't know. I kind of have a sneaking suspicion it's going to be a sequel just because of that line that they put in the trailer. And it seems like in this movie they're getting a lot further along, whereas the original Ghostbusters, it took a while for them to get the proton packs on and such like that. I can see this happening very quick, which means A, they understand what they're doing, B, they know that there's people that did it before, and C, we can do it because we're friends too. Like, we're a close group and we have the same sort of interest. I can imagine in the universe there was a big boom after, New York City, both huge events, that there'd be a lot more interest in the paranormal.
Yeah, you think that would be the case, but like in Ghostbusters 2, they're living jokes. Basically.
Yeah.
They're doing kids parties, and it's unfashionable to have them at your party. That's like 5 years too late,
Well,
Maybe
they were
longer.
seen as the fad. Quite literally, that was kind of superimposed with the merchandise and marketing blitz that was in our real life experience. After a while, the Ghostbusters weren't cool anymore, and then it was really right around the end of the second sequel. I think it's a very fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a great movie. But by then it was so tired and petered out that...
Yeah, Ghostbusters 2 was actually like the first movie I went to see multiple times in the theater.
I think I only saw it the one time, but boy, did I have a lot of fun in that. And that's the one thing at its core that a lot of people are forgetting, is this isn't some rich tapestry woven, 4 layers deep with... It's a simple story, and it's very easy to tell, and you can switch people in and out and get a slightly different result. Why not keep trying it?
I think the story was a lot more complicated as originally pitched. I forget who was writing it. I think it was one of the cast was writing it. Harold Ramis?
I think it's Dan Aykroyd.
Dan
'Cause
Aykroyd.
He holds a lot of the rights to some of those things. But.
The original concept of Ghostbusters was it was going to be set in the distant future, and it was ghost busting in space.
Ghost busting in space. I remember hearing there were supposed to be competing companies. and
Yeah,
such
something like that.
And they
So it could have been a whole lot weirder.
could have been a lot weirder, and they didn't use proton packs or science or anything. They used magic wands.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I remember hearing about that too. So this concept, not exactly as grounded as it used to be. It sounds more like a Harry Potter spin-off to me. But what we got, and what is kind of remained in our heads over the time is very simple things. And like as a kid, when I was a kid, all I wanted was proton pack. I wanted to ride in the Ecto 1, and I wanted a brown jumpsuit.
Brown jumpsuit.
with a ghost symbol on the shoulder. And then as you get older, you start realizing the seriousness of the story that they were in. Not that it's super deep, but man, is it interesting.
Tell you what, I'll be honest with our viewers, and you know this about me. This movie, when I was a kid, scared the hell out of me. Utterly terrifying to me. And exactly, you know, it's... And I'll say one thing, and this is a big admission for me. This is a movie that I will not watch alone, even today.
Really?
Because of that, what happened as a kid, those images, no, I will not throw this on my own.
See, you know, you kind of alluded to this a little bit. I never thought this movie was terrifying. There's creepy elements. I'll give you that much.
Uh-huh.
But when it comes to outright scares, I don't know. I think maybe it was the youth in you, because there's no way that's scary.
To this day, I swear to you, this movie gets under my skin. That's my big embarrassing confession in scary movies, that I would rather not watch this alone. I'm 36 years old.
Oh, good grief!
And
It still gets you.
and it gets me.
Well, I guess that's just a testament to sometimes when there's something that hits you, you never know where it's going to come from. So for me, like, overall, this whole experience with rewatching Ghostbusters has been good, but it's also let me understand the fact that not everything that you held sacred as a kid really holds up, and we've talked about it before. But also, you can get some real quality out of something that you wanted to hate. Mm-hmm. So all I'm saying is give this new Ghostbusters movies this new take. Just give it a chance.
Give it a chance.
It deserves that much.
And if you could do me a favor, leave a comment or two explaining some of your weird childhood fears that might still get to you today. I can't be the only one.
Please, just post it up in the comments. Don't leave this guy hanging. But until then, you guys have a great night and watch more movies.